Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal. Do you read me, Hal? Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
2001: A Space Odyssey, directed by Stanley Kubrick, is no doubt one of the greatest and most influential films ever made. I believe one of its most defining characteristics is its construction of sound, embodying the dull buzz of life and technology that floats bravely in the vast emptiness of space. More than just immerse us into his world, however, Kubrick used sound as a tool to make us feel helpless and powerful at the same time. In the sub's interior, our sense of immersion, of intimacy, of a feeling for the cyborg is accentuated by our subliminal and subjective sense of the sounds that surround us. Sounds we are no longer encouraged to comprehend, let alone experience, as transduced. Here, Helmrich discusses submarines and the concept of the cyborg, a combination of the humans inside the craft and the technology which allows us to explore and interpret a world so alien to us. He mentions the sounds and our subjective sense of them, as we only hear the beeping and buzzing of the technology keeping us alive and on track on our journey into the stars, but do not ourselves comprehend the information they convey. That information, a result of another cyborg which transduces the subvisible signals of the outside world into human ones, the technology beeping, buzzing, allowing us to breathe, to move in space, to detect the world around us in a way we could not do alone, transforms the subvisible world into a real one. The combination of these effects is that the viewer, as an observer of the confounding nature of the spacecraft, is both empowered and frightened. Empowered, because we have created the technology to soar through the stars, to see the subvisible world through these transducing technologies of information, to disconnect ourselves from the vast emptiness of space and feel safe in our pod. We can hear this last point clearly through the classical space waltz, making us feel secure and confident as we tackle the unknown. We also feel frightened, because we as viewers cannot hope to understand the constant chatter of the technology that keeps our heroes safe. Although we may now see the subvisible, we do not have the expertise to analyze the complex information we hear and see. The astronauts do to some degree, but even they fail to comprehend the abilities of Hal, whose very being as a transducer of computing data into human voice ends up being the death of most of the crew, as they fail to recognize how the information Hal transduces foreshadows his strong human characteristics, whose fear of death leads to the massacre of the crew.
Well, as far as I know, no 9,000 computers have been disconnected.
Well, no 9,000 computers ever fouled up before.
That's not what I mean. Well, I'm not so sure. What do you think about it?
We end with the stark contrast of technology as a means of empowering us to do what could never be done before, yet reminds us that we must not lose the ability to comprehend the tools we create, as our lack of understanding is not only the source of fear in this iconic film, it may be the source of our own demise.